Okay, this is one of the houses that I talked a friend into buying and getting ready for a family to move into. This is 1103 Broadmoor Drive. The yard I'm still cleaning up, and the flower beds, but as you can see walking up, you have a large covered front porch area as well as carport. This is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath that has the ability to be upgraded quite easily to 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, or even 5 bedrooms and 2 baths. As you can see from the inside, everything was redone from the texture in the walls to the floors, new blinds. This is wood laminate flooring that was put in. This is one of the houses that I posted. We need to raise $130,000 by the end of this coming week if we want to. When I say we, I'm referring to BACRAP, Broadmoor Acres Community Restoration and Preservation. If we're going to be able to put a family in this home and carry the mortgage and make this renovation truly part of what it was meant to be, which was to take homes that had been neglected or that were going up on tax deed sales, hadn't really been maintained, and because BACRAP didn't and doesn't really have money right now to purchase these and to do the work, I've had to talk private people, friends, into financing the purchases of these homes. You will see the bathroom is absolutely gorgeous. The tub, the sink, the vanity, the toilet, the dual flush is brand new, so is the plumbing. That tub area there was a truly old and disgusting double-walled shower. In other words, there was a shower head on each side, and it was a walk-in shower with maybe a 2 to 3 inch lip on the bottom. The ceilings in here, well, I can show the before pictures, but 90% of this house had no ceiling in it. The ceilings were covered with heavy-duty plastic because of roof leaks, etc., that had been left unchecked for quite some time. This is the living room. You'll have to excuse, I still have a few items here that I haven't taken out, like the ladder and paper towels and stuff. These cabinets, I put in myself, and so that you know, these were all unfinished. I actually hand stained these and polyurethaned the front for the shine. I didn't want too much of a shine, and at the same time I didn't want it to be too dull either. Everything in this house, bathroom and kitchen wise, is brand new. This is a Florida room that was added to the home by the previous owners that we went ahead and redid the drywall and the ceilings in. This area could easily be turned into 2 small bedrooms if the family size requires it. Going into here, And the home does have central air and heat. The previous owners, apparently, because of, I don't know if it was finances or just not wanting to put the money into it, they were using window units rather than fixing the AC, which when we bought the property and had an AC technician come in, the interesting part is that the AC unit itself was actually in great shape. It just simply had a slight leak that had to be repaired. This is the utility laundry room, and you can see that this area gives quite a bit of space. The previous owners did at one time have a jacuzzi in a custom-built gazebo in the back, and I'm going to show you in that area. And when they installed that, they also put in the plumbing that tied it into the sewer line, which is of course what you need when you're planning on doing a second bathroom. The fencing that's falling here is actually the fence from the neighbors. Excuse the grass. I've been cutting all of these lots and homes myself, so I have to get back here in the morning. In fact, a friend of mine and myself are coming back to cut the grass down again. The shed we left up because it's still in usable condition. The new owner will of course have to invest in a new door for it, but it is wired for electric. So like I said, the grass needs to be cut, and we'll be over here in the morning doing that. But it's a large backyard. Like I said, the front has a large covered front porch. There is a old but still usable brick grill here. I have dusted on LED lighting on the front and the side of the property. The idea is, in order to keep costs down, what we like to do is get families in them, and then once there's a family in as the owner, permitting and regulation wise, they would be allowed to pull what's called an owner builder permit, and that would be for adding a second bathroom or whatever, but it keeps the cost down. BACRAP will assist and aid and help with those items should a new owner decide to do it. Like I said, this property is one of two that we can put families in to as early as this week, but only if we can raise the money to keep the property from going on the rental market. A little bit of history on this property is the previous owner really no longer wanted to live here. It had become too much for her since her husband had passed away. It was already 3 years delinquent on its property taxes and was going up on a tax sale. I convinced a friend of mine who has financed several houses here in the community to try to put families into them, and he's even carried the mortgages on 3 of them. We agreed to try and purchase the property from the mortgage company on a short sale to avoid a tax deed sale, and at the same time allowing the previous owner not to have a mortgage company coming after her for the mortgage that was still owed on it. And the company clearly made it known that that was their intentions. The lot that you see across the street where the white van is, that's also one of our lots. Actually, that one and the one behind it. that we hope to build new housing on. The neighbors across the street from this property have been in this neighborhood for 40 years. They're really nice people, Bo and Laura West. And they're really neighborly, and they're really into looking out for their neighbors. So this would be a perfect home for BACRAP to be able to put a family into. And we have a family of 6 that we were trying to put into this property. So the issue with why this property would need us to buy it is that I've already had my friend put up money on multiple houses here in this community and carry the mortgage on. You can only put so much money out, and in this particular case, simply put, this property turned out to be a lot more than what we had anticipated, and it required a lot more investment into it. So either BACRAP raises the money and buys the property from Florida 913, and then we hold the mortgage for the family, or my friend is going to want to put it on the rental market and try to recover some of his money. And don't get me wrong, BACRAP understands there's a need for rental housing, but rental properties is what has deteriorated this neighborhood and has really robbed this community of an extremely large amount of money and pride. So I am reaching out through GoFundMe and hoping and praying that people who say they want to make a difference will help us make this difference. This isn't about giving somebody something for free. It's about putting families who are responsible, who will take pride in their homes, and who will make their mortgage payments, but just simply can't do it under the conventional way. And in all honesty, none of the existing homes in this community will ever qualify for conventional mortgage financing from any bank or mortgage company. It's just not going to happen because of their age and because of the amount of money that was lost in this neighborhood when the housing market crashed. So this is a tour of 1103 Broadmoor Drive. This is one of 2 homes that we posted that we would like to be able to raise the money for to put families in. In order for us to put a family in this property and us hold the mortgage, we will have to raise $130,000 by the end of next week. That $130,000 will actually cover the purchase of both homes, this one and the one over on Olive. We still will have to raise the closing cost, which could be as high as $2,000 on each property. We can do it. I want people to understand this is an investment in a community that will stay in this community for a long time to come, because all mortgage payments made to BACRAP will fund services for families and children in this community for decades to come. So please, show us that you are sincere. Help BACRAP actually meet its goal and its mission of putting families in homes and giving kids what they need to succeed. For those of you who are not familiar, BACRAP, Broadmoor Acres Community Restoration and Preservation, we are a 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Your contributions are 100% tax deductible, and every contributor will receive a written receipt from us. Instead of being out arguing and fighting with people and being divided, BACRAP is dedicated to bringing about a diverse community of families who live and own their own homes, the children of which do far better in school when they're in their own home and they're not worried about whether or not they have to move the first of the month next month. Families do better. And Broadmoor Acres Community Restoration and Preservation's mission and plan is to make this neighborhood a family-friendly, owner-occupied community with a community center that provides after-school programming for the kids in this neighborhood, from space and science to environment to art and music, that will help them be whatever they choose to be.